Hey guys, it's me, producer Ross, and welcome to another edition of My ITFC. It's been a while, I've been on furlough, but I'm back and I'm bringing these back today. Speaking to Town fans about their moments as a fan. Today I'm joined by John. John, thank you very much for joining me. How you been during the lockdown? And, you know, we're going back to normal now. I'm back to work, so it's great to have you here and chat to you about your time as a
really appreciate you asking me to come on. I'm good. It's been a tough time. Obviously, very strange world that we've been living in right now. But I'm back to work now. Been back at work from home for the last sort of 9-10 weeks, maybe possibly a bit longer. But no, everything seems to be pretty good. So it's just obviously dealing with what they call a new normal, I suppose.
Yes. No normal as Lambert normally says.
Normal, yeah.
No normal. Yeah, pretty much. We're going to get right into the first question. I always ask, always interesting to know, how did you become a Town fan?
That was through my dad. As a youngster, I liked football. Was probably the one thing I'd play at school, obviously lunch times, break times, after school with mates. Used to just follow who I thought was the best team at the time, which wasn't Ipswich, it was Man United. Obviously had all the sort of bedroom gear, bedspreads, curtains, etc. But my dad, he followed Town as a youngster, went to both the FA Cup finals and the UEFA Cup finals, so he's been there when times were good.
Yeah.
I never really experienced anything bad really, but no, he obviously took me to my first game. I've never looked back really. Like I say, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, like I do hate turning up on Saturday afternoons and seeing the absolute dross which is thrown in front of me for 90 minutes, and I do think to myself, why did he even bother? But no, I wouldn't change anything for the world. You know, it's a good part of my life.
Some people don't remember their first game. Can you remember your first game?
Again, that was obviously the first game that he took me to. This was back in the day when your local school would be getting tickets. And I believe it was a playoff game, I think, which was against Charlton. Charlton Athletic. Obviously, don't remember too much about the game, obviously being only sort of 10, 11 years old at the time. But I don't think it was a very positive result. I'm pretty sure we lost that. And I think Jamie Clapham may have scored an own goal, unfortunately. But no, I mean, like I say, at that time in my life, didn't really care about the result. Like, it was all about sort of experiencing football for the first time. And obviously, since 10, 11 years old, I've not stopped going. And obviously, we're now sort of 18 years down the line and 19 years down the line, I'm still going. So, he took me to that first game in the cupboard stand. I think my brother was there as well. He had no interest in football at all whatsoever, but it was like a bit of a family sort of day out. But no, I'm pretty sure against Charlton in that playoff. Yes, good day out. We enjoyed that.
You mentioned Clapham. Who's your favourite Town player of all time? Have you got a couple?
Again, I probably wouldn't have anyone who stands out as being my all-time favourite. If I was putting anyone in that category, it'd probably be probably Matt Holland, or David Johnson, probably, in terms of at that time when it was good. And not only Matt Holland, but probably the best captain we've ever seen, or in my lifetime anyway. Best captain I've seen, and probably the best captain that we'll maybe ever have. Amount of games he played for the club without really getting booked. Like, his disciplinary record was unreal for a captain and a centre midfielder. And David Johnson for just the goals he brought to the team, especially in the year we got promoted. Not only him, but we had Scowcroft and Naylor at the time. But for someone who we got from Bury, who probably no one had really ever heard of. I mean, I know he came through Man United's youth team, I think, but no one really knew what to expect from him, and he just banged the goals in for fun. Left foot, right foot, header in. Like, for someone who was quite small, he had a leap on him. Fair play to him. And he went on to have a half decent career himself. After that, sort of Bobby Petter would fall in my category in terms of sort of favourite players. Fabian Wilness, because I don't think we've ever had a right back since him. Richard Wright, probably at the end, a lot of the players from the good time.
For yourself, George Burley must have been your first.
Yeah, George Burley was my first one. Again, really used to enjoying watching the type of football we played. It was passing the ball around, playing teams off the pitch. Don't ever recall much long ball football. It was all about passing it around the opposition. Joe Royal, probably falls in that same category in terms of the type of football he played. Conceded a lot of goals, but scored loads.
Score more than your
Alexander game, for instance. 6-4, I think it was. Crew weren't even that good. Not in a very good team at the time, but still managed to concede 4 at home to them, but score 6. But like I say, George Burley and Joe Royal were the ones where you could go to Portman Road and think, we'll win this. We'll just beat this team. However good that team was, they could have been better than us on paper, but you're so comfortable and so ready to see a town win, and it pretty much always happened. I really enjoyed watching us as a club under those two. One in particular, probably more for how big the goal was. At the time, I went to watch us away at West Ham in the old Upton Park or Bowling Ground, whatever you want to sort of call it. I think it was maybe back in 2011. I think we maybe played them at home before this, or would have been after. I'm not sure, but we beat them 1-0. Lee Bowyer scored, obviously against his former club, and it was a really, really late goal. So when it was in the Trevor Brooken stand at Ramo's, I think we might even have sold out that away end that night. And no, like I said, we deserved to win that. And the time it came, really, 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 really late, 89th, 90th minute or something stupid. And the celebrations were unreal. After that, only one of the few teams who've done a double over West Ham, from what I can remember that year. And I think they went on to get promoted by the playoffs. I think that year, maybe.
They probably did.
I can't remember, but no, we made them look very. I mean, even in both games, made them look very ordinary. And like I say, just for the impact the goal had, really enjoyed that one. Again, it would probably fall under the category of how big of an impact this goal was at the time. I think back to this is under Joe Royal, I believe it was, when we played Wigan at home near Christmas. I think we beat them 2-1 at Portman Road. I think we went top at Christmas then, which win did that for us, I believe. I'd already seen a good goal. Probably, actually, in all fairness, the best opposition goal I've probably seen at Portman Road, which was Leighton Baines' absolute screamer in the top bin. My goal from that game was Darren Bent's winner when he lobbed it over the goalie. Had already seen the equaliser, which ended up flicking it on from a Darren Curry cross. But the ball, I can't remember who played the ball over the top to Darren Bent that day. Might have been Matilda, I can't remember. But Darren Bent lobbing it over the non-Russian goalie to knock it in. And again, it's just the absolute scenes in that north stand end and in the whole ground. But again, it might even have been on TV. And we had a good old crowd there that night. Again, it might have been sold out or close to being sold out, and that's just an unbelievable night. And like I say, it took us top, and it's just a big goal at a big time in that season.
Just a shame that we didn't pounce on being top of the league and try to stay in that position, because I feel like we never want to get promoted via the league or the automatics.
No, I mean we bottled it a couple of times from being top at around Christmas, haven't we? More recent under Mick McCarthy, but it scraped in the playoffs that time. But it would have been nice to go up top 2, because I imagine that feeling being quite good. But I mean, if you wanted to finish top 2, you want to finish first, wouldn't you? Like second. I know second still gets the job done, but that's no good. That's not as good as finishing top or winning the playoffs, is it? But
I feel weird if you have like an open top bus, like automatic promotion.
You didn't get a trophy, do you? You just
no.
Just celebrate finishing second.
Pretty much. Yeah. But there you go. Going on to now grounds. You mentioned Upton Park, the Bowling Ground, whatever they want to call it. Have you gone to many away games? What's your favourite away ground to visit?
Been a few. Probably more sort of nearer ones, and I've been up the other end of the country, like Newcastle or Sunderland, or the other end like Plymouth. Never been anywhere like that, but normally keep them sort of London based or a bit outside that. So I've been to sort of the Amex a couple of times. I've been to Southend last year. Don't ever want to go there again. Good day out. That's another story. So I've been Sheffield United. I've been there. Chelsea been a couple of times in the FA Cup. Been to the Emirates for the Carling Cup. So I mean, you can always appreciate these grounds for what they are. They're Premier League grounds. They're big. A lot of people. But I think for me, I like the Amex. I've never not gone there when we've had the opportunity to do so. Nice stadium, nice new stadium. Not so new now, but at the time it was nice and new. And I've seen us win there, which is nice. So yeah,
a bonus, isn't it?
Yeah, added bonus. Yeah.
No.
First kit will be up there. The first kit I owned was an old Green King one, a solid blue, with white sleeves. I think it had horses down the middle of the sleeves. I think that was the kit before our promotion season back in '99 or 2000. But again, obviously that's because I liked Bobby Petter at the time, so I liked that kit. Thought I was Bobby Petter when wearing that kit, nowhere near it. But thought I was him. And then obviously the kit then, which we had in the playoff season, which I think they class as a retro one now. I think it was just solid blue all over with white stripped down the sleeves. And then again another playoff one, more recent, from 2014, which again Marcus Evans across the middle, but blue with black V-neck. And then black and white stripes down the sleeves. But like that one as well, and maybe even the new home one, which I think is quite nice as well. Haven't seen it in person yet, but from what I've seen, it looks quite nice.
Let's get into the worst moment, because I always like to end these videos on the best moment, because always a good end on a high. So let's get into your worst moment. I'm sure there's been a few.
But in all fairness, when you pop these questions over to me, I was finding it very difficult to think of a bad moment. Probably the one that sticks in my mind recent times would be Christoph Bearer, his handball against Norwich in the playoffs. I was there that day. I don't think they were playing that well. I think we got the draw at home in the first leg. It felt good sort of going to the Carrow Road. I know our record there has not been great since back in the day when we had Bodic and Fabian Wilner scoring and everyone else. But they didn't look that great that day. And obviously, I know they went a goal up through that handball, I think it was. And then Tommy Smith had equalised. But if we'd had 11 men on that pitch that day, I think we could have done that and got one over on them. But obviously, hindsight is a wonderful thing. If you think we had 11 men on, I think we might still have lost. But I don't know. I still think back on that day, I think we were better than them. And probably should have made that final. But that's a horrible feeling to think that we lost it based on that handball, because they just upped it a little bit with us only having 10 men.
Advantage,
and they took us to the sword, and then just got another I think they might have got another 2 or 3 goals after we'd scored, maybe, and it was it's a bit demoralising because we didn't deserve that. But blame Christoph Bearer. Got to be the playoff final, reaching the Premier League. Don't think anyone would ever probably have associated Ipswich Town as being in a Premier League again after being in it in the early sort of 90s. I think it just makes it extra special having missed it in the playoffs sort of previous years, and we just went that one step further that year and beat Barnsley. I think we were always going to beat them. We've beaten them twice in the league that year quite comfortably, and although they scored first for a lucky goal coming off the right's back, which is unfortunate, but it happened quite early in the game, so we still had plenty of time to get ourselves back in it. And I think as soon as Tony Mowbray equalised from that corner, I think that was only ever going to be one outcome. And I know, obviously, especially when Richard Wright saved his penalty as well, the first penalty, that just gives you a bit of an added edge and gives you the boost you sort of need just to go on and actually get a few more goals. They made it a bit nervy towards the end when it was. I think they got back to 3-2, so made it slightly nervy. Then obviously they were throwing all hands at the pump to try and equalise, and then the ball got up to Rosa, and then
Premiership
top of the net, and it was just an amazing moment in the celebrations. And then obviously the open top bus celebrations the next day or a couple of days later. But yeah, an amazing moment for the club and the town to have their football team in the Premier League, mixing it amongst the big boys and actually making a good account of themselves. Obviously finishing fifth, and I don't think any team will ever finish higher than that.
No.
I just don't think that'll ever get done again. And it annoys me that it never gets mentioned really.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like even now, people talk about how good Sheffield United have been, the best promoted team ever. Like, no, we finished fifth. Like that's out of the ordinary. That shouldn't happen. And yeah, it annoys me it doesn't get mentioned enough. But no, we will certainly remember that. That's all that matters. But yeah, that would probably be the best moment, just getting into that Premier League and mixing amongst the big boys.